Hey, good morning. This is Brave Dave. Today I'd like to show some of my friends how I'm doing the BGA here on Pine Cove Farm by Stevie. All I really want to do today is just kind of go through and show some of the things I do. I help my friends out. I kind of had to learn the hard way. I wasn't able to find a lot of information about how to actually make this video, not the video, but how to make the BGA work. So this is kind of the way I do it. And I'm not real good about looking up information. I kind of struggle with it from time to time. If it's just not laid out for me, I don't really pick up on it that quick, but that's just me. What I'm going to start off doing today is going through the process of the digestate to where it's the byproduct of the products you drop here at the BGA here at the front entryway where you normally dump in most maps the silage. So there's a lot, Stevie puts a lot of different things in. Helps you make money early, just a lot of innovations that he likes to do, and I think it's great because if you played farm sim as long as I have, you really don't. I don't like to grind that much. I like to get into the game and start making money and having a good time. I'm not really into punishing myself with all of the grind, but it's fun when you play multiplayer with a bunch of people and get in. You have new guys and stuff that never really played the game. It's a lot of fun that way, but old hands like me like to get in there, find how the map works and the best way to make money and get profitable early and enjoy the map, enjoy the scenery. So the first thing I want to do is go down to the compost plant. I've already preloaded the compost plant with straw from the first field 5, when I got started the day before yesterday on this. And you start running into money in a hurry when you do this. The field 5 took the straw off it and took it to the biogas plant and dumped it where you normally dump the silage or silage or whatever you want to call it, and had pretty good luck with it starting to make digestate. Took the digestate to the biogas, to the biodiesel deal, and started making diesel and all kinds of products, and all things, bells and whistles started flying in my mind on how he really set this thing up. So now that I have the biogas plant loaded with making digestate, I don't need to take my straw over there. I can take compost, which I get a great price for, and the phone will ring naturally. But anyway, now that I have compost made, I make sure that take it over there. I get a good price for it. The compost is bringing at the biogas plant. Let's see here. Right here, it's bringing about $2,175 per liter, which is just enormous. So got to sell that anyway, so I get the byproducts off of it. So we'll take the first load of compost over to the biogas plant and dump it this morning. Got started a little earlier, but the map was real foggy, so it was, not a, doesn't make good for streaming purposes. This is my, or video purposes. I've made just a couple of videos. All my videos are just basically to share with my friends to show how I'm doing it, so they can cut it up and throw it back at me usually. But that's the fun part, I guess. Okay, so dump here. Get started. As you see, I just bought a piece of property. I was down to, I think, somewhere around $10,000. So you kind of watch the numbers go up pretty quick doing it this way. Yep, real good this morning. I got $112,000 and some change for that load. I think I'll go get another load right quick. That was pretty good. And then I'll switch modes here to my tanker, show you how that works. Let's get one more load, which will pretty much empty the compost that I have already processed, but I had a compost plant full of straw, which is the cheapest thing to put in it, I think. I'm early in the map. I don't have any cattle or pigs, or what I call hogs. As far as pig is a pig, a hog is a hog. But so get one more load. And as you notice here, if you haven't played this map, you got your compost deal here where it makes bags, so probably need to keep that full, and that's just a revenue stream that just keeps on working. And you don't get the sometimes as much for it as if you take it to a biogas plant, but it just keeps money rolling in as the day goes. As it makes a full pallet, it auto sells, and then you can get the profit off. Oh, and I didn't got my map turned down to 1, so I didn't get everything dumped. Let me turn my map up to 5 times. I did not notice that. Wow, got $112,000 and it wasn't even a full load. That's outstanding. As you can see, my pile kind of went down over there. It has numbers on the digital reading on the spout there, but it's kind of hard to see when you're in third person. Take another load over here. The digestate that our product is what I call slurry. Like you get it get it from your pigs or your cows. Just dump one more load, get some money flowing this morning. Yeah, it's a fun map. There's lots of ways to make money in this map. Here we go. Maybe we'll get the whole load in this time. May wait a little bit, but and I'm playing on the normal mode. Yeah, it's $122,000. So I went from less than $10,000 2 loads to 2 loads I've dumped over here, and I've got $250,000. So you can see the money rolls in pretty fast, but you got to take in consideration that I've been on the map for 2 days, and I've been concentrating on getting all of the process working, getting all of the bins full, and so, and I found that the compost is your money maker here on this map. As in Farm Sim 15, we had the money maker was actually the silage at the BGA plant. I think Stevie might have loosened up the economy a little bit on this map. And that's kind of a good thing. So you can see that after I've dumped that, you get your byproduct, your digestate or slurry. And if you look down here in the left side, you can see that I've already, from the 2 days I've been working, I have gathered up quite a bit. There's 240,000 liters plus there, so I'll go ahead and fill my tank. I'm not going to fill my tank all the way because I'm not so sure how much I have here already in the process of the biodiesel. So I'm kind of doing this for demonstration. I don't want to overfill my tanker and stall my tanker out, tie my tanker up, because I don't have one tank at this time. I've been trying to watch my money and buy property. So go back in here and start the process like we didn't have anything in it. And you can see my system is not running right now, and it's probably because you got your solid fertilizer, you got your liquid fertilizer tank, and you got your biodiesel tank. And if any one of them gets to full capacity, it shuts the process down. So you got to kind of watch this thing and make sure you keep it emptied out. If you go over here and look at your digital readouts, you can see that this tank holds 50,000. I know that from experience, so I got 7,000 more I can make here. And this is where you dump your digestate. And I've only got 15,000 there, so that takes 50,000. I know that from experience, so that's not the hold up. That's not why the plant's shut down. Excuse me. And if you go over here where it makes the solid fertilizer, you can see it has 15,000. So this is the hold up right here. This is what's shutting me down. Okay, so we'll have to clear that out and go sell it. And this has got 10,000 gallons. Oh, that's a nice even number. How do we do that? But I think this makes 50,000 too. So the process is shut down right now because the solid fertilizer is at capacity. So let's get that emptied out. I'll have to move my tanker back out here out of the way. And I'll show you where to go sell the solid fertilizer. You can use a solid fertilizer in your farming operation, but you have to bring your fertilizer implement, your spreader or whatever, here and fill it at here at the BGA. And I've done that a couple of times. It works well. Kind of got to watch modded equipment. Some of the mods don't match up. I've got one of the modded seeders that won't take the fertilizer directly from the biogas plant. But I've used some of the in-game ones and they work just fine. So, and Stevie warns you about not having too many mods. Make sure that you add 1 or 2 mods at a time in, so you don't hose your game up by adding too many mods and then at the start and having a problem and not knowing where the problem was. So I'd recommend to hold your mods down to a minimum and add them in as a 1 or 2 at a time. So if you start having issues, you kind of know what you did last, so you can reverse that. So we'll go ahead and sell a load of this because I have my fertilizer spreaders full back at the farm. And shortly after we get this emptied, this plant should kick back into motion and start working. Yep, there it goes. You old hands, y'all know all about this. I'm kind of trying to reach out to some of the new guys that may just be starting out on these Stevie maps. I'm no expert by any means. I get most of my information from YouTube and YouTube gaming channel from pros like Moose and Ian Robinson and guys like that. They're just phenomenal in their gameplay. But I found that most of the time when people get started, I mean those guys that do a lot of Let's Play and gameplay have big channels, they usually go through and do a run over the map and show you what's what, but don't actually have the time or take the time to go make this equipment work and show somebody. They kind of assume everybody knows, or they don't. They're not into that. So I thought I'd just make a video for my friends that I play with that ask me questions, and they can go look at it. Speed it up a little bit, maybe. So naturally, you can look on your. I had a hard time finding this sell point. It didn't really show where to sell the fertilizer, so I kind of just drove around until I found something that's just said it accepts it. So I've already forgot the name of this place, so and they're gonna crowd me. Really like how Stevie did this map. He really did a great job on it. Like I said, I'm not going to go and try to show you the whole map or anything like that. That's not my mindset. My mindset today was to just show you how I use the BGA plan and how you can make quite a bit of money. But you got to consider that you got to spend the time to farm to make all of the products to feed the BGA plant, to make the biodiesel. But it's nice that the way Stevie set it up, that you can be fully self-sufficient on this map. You don't really have to buy anything. I still buy fertilizer and seed at the plant because I kind of set this, in my mind, I've got this set up as two different entities, just like if you had two different companies. You still cross bill your two companies in real life, because that way you can keep up with how much money you're really making and your taxes and things like that. So we're coming up on, I guess it's pronounced Jeb's sell point, and he takes Winrow. So he'll buy your seed and fertilizer here, not liquid fertilizer, but their granule fertilizer. If he does take liquid fertilizer, I haven't found where to dump it. You can actually, if you have a surplus of liquid fertilizer, you can dump it back at the BGA where you dump your silage and straw. As you can see, our money is screaming. Yeah, that's nearly $40,000 there. So started around $10,000, and I'm already up to nearly $300,000. And we've been playing here maybe 5 minutes, but I've had everything prepped because I've been feeding the machines. And when I first started the map out, he had the first release. Stevie does a lot of updates, and when he recommends that you restart the map completely. So I had two false starts until I got to this, what I call the V1.3 version, the third version of it. So I'd kind of fumbled around enough on the map to just, wow, I've already spent a lot of time on the map, but that doesn't bother me anymore, because I like to kind of, when I'm on a map, I like to find the sweet spot. And once you find the sweet spot in the map, you can really hammer it out, start over. And I ended up, I knew what equipment I like. Everybody has their own equipment ideas. I knew what equipment, so he puts so much equipment on the map that you can do a sell-off pretty quick and buy your equipment that you like. And I like to keep my equipment down to the bare minimum. When I'm playing single player, I don't have any tractors sitting around. I have something that's usually connected to something, so I can tab through them, but keep it to the minimum, because you have fees on the equipment. There's no reason to have so much excess equipment that you got to pay upkeep on, in my opinion. So And I like the big equipment. Alright, but I enjoy also getting on maps with guys that are just starting out and playing the small equipment too. It's a lot of fun. Just to watch guys learn and enjoy the basic farm sim. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this trailer and pick the tanker back up because I kind of want to show you that over there on the compost plant. Of course, you got to keep it full of straw. It's full of straw right now. I'll go fill it here in a minute to demonstrate that. But the compost plant takes a lot of diesel. And when I first started the map on the first version, I went down there and bought a tanker after I got my farm going and went down there, and it took $40,000 of diesel, and I don't even think it filled it up. And I go, wow, this is going to be, it looks like you're making money, but by the time you count all your diesel and the products you have to put into the compost, this is not that big a money deal until I stumbled on the fact that, okay, well, I'm making a whole lot more diesel than I can actually use in my farm right now. I'll just go sell the diesel. Well, sold the diesel, yeah, but I had to buy diesel to put back in. So it dawned on me, well, first thing I need to do is make sure before I sell any diesel that I keep the compost plant full of diesel to sell my surplus, which y'all would have figured out. Probably would have figured out right away, but sometimes Brave Day's a little slow. You know, Brave Day's not a spring chicken anymore, so I get to use the old card. Yeah, this system here at the biogas plant makes it kind of self-sufficient. You kind of do your rounds, get your money built up, and then go start your farming. Buy you a tractor, save your money, buy you some new property. Kind of just, kind of the American way, keep the money rolling. Especially, there is no need in this game to add money to the game. If you got to add money to this game to get started, you're just wanting to, what's the word for it? Just wanting to just play a little while, I guess, and get as much out of it as you can. And I think you'll get burnt out. I get burnt out if I add money to a game. It feels good at the start, and then 2 days later after you've conquered the game, you go, well, man, I could have done that without putting money in. You just say, let's start over. This may take it all. No, it doesn't. I pretty much had everything, my process, full circle between these two plants. So I've got 8,000 liters left. I'm going to go sell it. Show you where you sell it at in case you don't know, which is the regular fuel stop station. I'm really bad about remembering where these places are here. Yeah. Yeah, it was one intersection over, but that's why they put a steering wheel on these things so you can make turns. And I'm gonna dump my surplus fuel. Like I said, I buy my fuel at the main farm through the pumps there because they're already set up nicely for you. I don't see any reason to add a bunch of extra tankers around to go top off your stuff because between the two companies, you're getting your money. You're making money. You spend a little money between the two companies. I think it's just a good economy practice. Okay, so the next thing I think is not to run over this trucks. We'll go get some. And I'm not really trying to make this video. This is what I'm normally do. So I'm not trying to make a video to impress anybody. Just kind of show you what I do. If you see the video, you see something I could do better, leave a comment. Uh, I'll read it. Don't make it too elaborate. Don't read that well. But I'd be interested in what you got to say. Like I said, the important thing to keep this process going, you had to keep these tanks pulled down because if you don't get them pulled, if you don't pull the fertilizer, the fuel, and the liquid fertilizer down, if one fills up, it's going to stop your process. So I'm going to sell some liquid fertilizer too because I only have 3 fields and I'm not putting a really load on the fertilizer. And the liquid fertilizer, I am using it. I've got the big sprayer and I just drive it down here and top it off here. So it's kind of convenient. It's not really convenient for the other stuff, but that seems to be working well for me. Like I said, my goal is just to show you how this process works, and I'm sure you can find a better, maybe even a more efficient way to use it. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that it took the liquid fertilizer here, but it's the only place I found on the map you can sell it besides consuming it yourself in your farming practices. there was nearly $30,000, plus it just got a bump of 2,000 something dollars for compost pallet that just sold. Go ahead and get the rest of this fertilizer out of here. Liquid fertilizer, I might say. So really, to make this whole process work, all you need to do is take your straw to the compost plant and make compost. If you're starting off from scratch, I'd recommend to take your straw and dump it here at the bio plant to make your digestate. Take your digestate for your tanker over here and put it in the silver tank. Get this process going to make enough diesel to start your compost, and you don't ever have to buy any diesel. Only thing you got to do is buy these universal tanks from. You have to get this mod for the universal tanks from Andy the farmer. There's several places to get them, but so I've emptied all of the process. So just about through with the tanker for now, so I'll load it back up with a digestate slurry and fill the biodiesel plant here up. Drop that trailer, pick the other trailer up and go get some straw. Make sure I have the compost plant full, and then let that process run today and go back to farming. I have one dedicated truck and 2 dedicated trailers that just feed the biogas plant, and I haven't even started making silage yet. I'm just trying to get this process going here, the diesel and the fertilizer process going, so I can feed my farm self-sufficient. Now the sky's the limit, because I've got enough income down here to help me get my farm started without having to run a bunch of missions. I don't mind the missions, but the missions are kind of not take away, but your farm really doesn't run while the missions are going. It kind of stops the time. I'm going to make sure this thing is completely topped off, and if I have a little bit left in my tanker, that's okay, because this is the last I'm going to use the tanker for a while. And when I come back down here, I can just finish emptying my tanker and start the process all over again. And it's going to take some more. That's good. Said I'm going to make sure this is completely topped off because this is the what am I trying to say? This is the lifeline. This is what feeds the whole process. This is the fuel to make the products. And I can see that screen. I've got it at 48. I should stop here at 50. I think 50,000 is, yeah, 50,000 is the capacity of each one of these tanks. Sometimes it doesn't let me disconnect close to this process, so I kind of have to pull way out, disconnect, and then when it lets me disconnect, then I pull back in, then I can disconnect here and leave my tanker here. I like to leave my tanker here when I have. Oh, it's empty, isn't it? No, it's not. Yeah, it's 15,000 left. Okay. I'm easily confused. Now I need to go pick some straw up and make sure my compost plant is full and topped off. We topped the diesel off, so it's got diesel to run for the day. Now it needs to be topped off with straw, so I don't have any issues with it stopping and stopping the cycle. I want to keep the cycle going because this is my main revenue stream right now. So I'll go back to the main farm. I have some straw that's already been collected and put into my silo. So we'll go get that. I guess that compost plant will take just about any product you want to put in there, but if you had a surplus of something you could put in there. But I don't know why you would put any of your grains and stuff in there. It doesn't make any sense, or your potatoes and stuff, because you can always get a pretty good price for them at different sell points. So straw is usually in my opinion, is your cheapest product you can put in there, and it's relatively available in high volumes. Byproduct of your barley and wheat. And if you don't have a lot of demand for it, if you don't have a lot of animals, so if you get a lot of animals going on, you have to, you gotta, they need the straw and the feed process and the bedding. So you'll have to plant quite a bit of wheat and barley to keep this process going. Or some people may want to drop this process off, get a little tired of it. That's what I like about Stevie's maps, though, because you have the opportunity to do different things. And I think this process I think it holds 100,000 liters, and see it's full. So I had it pretty much topped off, but I wanted to show you for the guys that haven't. Seen it dump over there, seen how you feed the compost plant. Instead of taking this all the way back and dumping it in my silos, I'm going to take it to the BGA plant and dump it, because that's how you get the initial process started to begin with. You don't get as much for your straw as you would if you were going to use it in the compost plant, but I have a surplus of straw right now, and more fields planted. So this is how you get the initial process started, in my opinion, is bringing the straw down here, because that's your first available byproduct that you can sell. And you'll see that you get a decent price for it. Instead of dumping it there in the sell point at your main farm. So I got $8,000 for what was left, which is pretty good price for raw straw. Okay, that's a full cycle through the compost and the BGA biodiesel fertilizer part of it. So that'll be the end of this video. And actually it's my first video I've ever made to share with my friends, so hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll make another one someday. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.